Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Patriot Ridge Farm. And tough to freaking do a video in this morning sunlight. Jeez whiz. All right, so some people ask me, how much time do you spend on social media? And I'm like, doing what? Mostly, it's looking for stuff like this. So these are all 6-foot hardwood 4x4s. I believe there's roughly 110 of them. And this is 2 bundles of advertised as farm wood, which is all rough cut hardwood. And there's 2 bundles there. And then there are 20 sheets of 12-foot long metal, previously used, not in bad shape at all, can completely be used again on our farm. I'm not building a home here, folks. So Sawmill, a couple counties away, had this stuff on Facebook, and each one of these bundles here, and I have no idea, you can see the separation between the bundles. I have no idea how many actual board feet are in here, but they're 8 feet long, all about an inch thick, a couple various widths on here. And then the metal, again, there's 20 sheets, 12 feet long, and then roughly 110 hardwood 4x4s. Get me squinting this morning. Whew. All of this, each bundle of the farm lumber, $100 each. $10 each for each sheet of metal. And then the bundles of the 4x4s, $300. All in all, I have a 14-foot dump trailer full and the bed of my truck full, $700. Yeah, it's a lot of money to pop out at once. It really is. But you're not going to go to a big box store and buy this stuff for even close to what this came to. And the cool thing about this is I can store this stuff here, keep it here, use it as I need it. Now, did I need this? Absolutely, I needed it. I need to start building pig shelters. I should have already started building pig shelters, but I need to start building those. So first, I got to fix my tractor, the big tractor, to get this stuff unloaded out of my truck and out of my trailer. I hate to have it sitting here like this with this much weight on it, but so there's a big pin in my tractor on the brush mower that pretty much holds the entire arm in place, and there's a shear pin in it, and evidently that shear pin under stress broke, and that pin slipped out about that far. And I ended up having to, I was out here last night, the wife and I were out here last night. I did everything that I know of to try to get that pin back in, but the boom is kind of canted a little bit. And no matter what I do, even using the other tractor, trying to push up, push over on it and everything, I can't get it to free up. So a buddy of mine's going to come over today with his backhoe. Neighbor lives down here, and he's going to kind of help me. We'll lift up on the elbow there where it bends. I'll show you when we get out here. I look like Bowser from Shot On Off. You're old enough to remember that. We're going to try to get that thing lined back up to where I can drive that pin in, because my little John Deere's not going to lift those bundles of lumber. The Kubota, the big Kubota, will. So it's been a little bit of a pain in the butt, because I really need to get some mowing done. I need to get brush hogging done with the John Deere. I need to get boom mowing done with the Kubota. I've got a lot to do. So I'll get a chair over here and show you this. All right. So this rod, it's got a shear pin in it. Goes through in here and here and here and here. And shear pin broke. This rod slipped out. And I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but this whole part of this arm, instead of being straight and level, is turned like this. And I literally have tried everything that I can do with what I have, even using the hydraulics of this thing on itself, and, you know, using the John Deere with the chain and pushing on it with the bucket, doing everything. I could not get it to line up, and that rod's not going anywhere. The funny thing is, I can stand here and push and move that, but I don't want to get too dumb with it and end up popping that daggone thing out, because that would not be fun. And like I said, this whole piece of equipment right here, just this boom mower itself, weighs 4,000 pounds. And I'm not messing with that. And you know, I was really glad that we didn't decide to breed and raise pigs again this year, because we are in a severe drought again. And matter of fact, this past August was the second driest on record in West Virginia since 1895. Now, we're not as bad as we were last year, but we are significantly dry. Thankfully, we got some rain forecasted to come. Don't know if it's going to be enough to kind of get us out of this, but we're approaching Dust Bowl. That's why I haven't even bothered with this, to get in here and mow this again. I wanted to, but I've kind of held off on it. There's some other more wooded areas, kind of like silvopasture areas, that I'm trying to build, that I want to that I do want to get cut, which they're already shaded with trees and stuff like that. They're not open like this meadow is. And this is Boris's pasture right here. I did come through with the weed whacker and cut the bigger stuff out of here. Had a bunch of ragweed growing in here, and it was kind of woody and stemmy. So I had to put the blade on the weed whacker and come out here and get that cleaned up, just to get it away from the fence. And I still need to finish the rest of the fence line. But until we start getting rain, and know that we're going to have a little bit more consistent rainfall, I'm not even going to mow this yet. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything to leave it like that. There's goldenrod in there, and there's ironweed and ragweed, but there's still a lot of good grasses in there. And if I have to leave it like this for the winter, I'll leave it like this for the winter. The only other thing I'm going to do here today, or I'm going to start on today, once I get this tractor fixed and get that lumber unloaded, is I'm going to come out here. So Coke's, good morning, young lady. Her shelter, if you want to call it that, it is a shelter, believe it or not, was just a throw together with pallets type of shelter. We're going to do something different now. So I'm going to move her. I'm going to keep her in here for now, but I'm going to come over here to this paddock, which I've let grow up. I haven't mowed or done anything with it. I've let this completely grow up. I want those grasses. Yes, there's weeds and stuff in there, native weeds, ragweed and everything else. But I wanted to let this stuff grow up because I wanted it to get good roots established again, because it was moonscaped from last year. I'm going to take a couple of these panels off. I'm going to get that continuous feeder out of there and get it stored for the winter. And then I'm going to come in here and mow this down. And I'm going to build the first shelter over here. And once this shelter is built, I'm going to move Coke from there to here, and then I'm going to build the other shelter over there. And I'll get Boris's shelter built after that. He's already got the shelter, the little hoop house shelter up there, which is fine for him. It works great for him. But I want to get a more semi-permanent shelter with all the wooden stuff that we have now. So I'm going to take this out, these couple fence panels here, get that feeder out of here, get this mowed down, build the first shelter here, then move Coke, then go in there and tear that one down and get a new one built for her. Now the plan is, like I said in the last video, is come December, we are going to artificially inseminate Coke. We're going to bring in Berkshire semen is what I'm going to order, and get her artificially inseminated. By that time, she'll have two shelters, a shelter in two different paddocks, and I can put her in, one side, and while I finish the other, and then once she is pregnant and we verified that she's pregnant, when she gets closer to gestation, I can move her back over to the farrowing paddock, let her farrow out in there, and then when I'm ready to wean and separate, I can move the piglets over to here. They have a shelter, and then as they grow, I can rotate them out into the other paddocks. So gestation time, three months, 3 weeks, 3 days, roundabout on a pig, and that way she's not farrowing in the winter. She's farrowing in the spring, into March, first couple weeks of April, and by that time things are starting to green back up around here. Now these other paddocks over here, I'm not touching. I am not touching. I'm letting them just stay as they are through the winter. get those good roots in there, do whatever the grasses do for the soil through the winter and everything like that, kind of reestablish and re-stabilize that soil. I'm just leaving it there. When I turn pigs back in there, they will take care of that. No questions asked. And I hope this doesn't start to become the trend here to have a daggone drought every summer now, because that's going to make things a lot harder for us, especially if we're trying to grow out like that, because I'm going to, when I put the pigs back, or when we farrow out and start rotating the pigs on pasture, the grow outs will have free feed available to them. It costs us a little more, but it's going to increase their growth rate and shorten their growth time. So in 8 to 10 months, all those pigs can go to processing, and then I can let the pastures rest until the next season. Fall's always a busy time. All the time's a busy time here, but fall is when the weather becomes more cooperative, so to speak. Because, like, well, the last couple of days it's been in the 80s and still dry here, so it's still hot. But it gets nice and cool at night. Evenings, mornings, and stuff like that are much easier to work in. And then as the days start to get shorter, continue to get shorter here, the weather, of course, will improve. If you're from West Virginia, you know what I mean. We're kind of diving into that furnace in the morning, air conditioning in the evening, air conditioning during the day, and furnace in the evenings type of weather. We haven't had our central air on for over a month now, just because it's been so nice. And even though it's getting in the 80s during the day, we leave the windows open, put a fan in the living room and stuff like that, and leave the ceiling fans on, and it stays very comfortable. So we haven't run our central air in over a month. Electric company's probably not happy about it, but we don't care about them. What else? Yes, leaves are falling. We are definitely into fall. Super dry. After I get the tractor fixed today and I get the lumber unloaded, I'm going to park the trailer, and then I'm going to go down and hook the wood chipper up. If you guys remember, watch previous videos where I bought that wood chipper, and I'm going to get it over to my neighbors, and we're going to try to start getting that thing running, make sure everything operates on it, because on top of all this other stuff going on, I've got a lot of trees to fell this year, because I need to clear for some fence line up here and everything like that. I've actually gotten a couple extra loads of wood chips down there that they've just randomly showed up and delivered, and I'm not complaining, because I can always use wood chips. And you know, we'll put those in a greenhouse. We'll refresh the greenhouse in the spring with a bunch more wood chips and everything. As soon as everything that we have in there is done growing for the season, we'll take everything out. I'll layer everything with rabbit poop, and we'll get ready for, you know, spring planting and everything. So yes, it's busy. It's busy all the time. And I have tried and continue to try just to kind of take things in stride, so I'm not overwhelming myself, and I can at least rest at night where I'm not laying there constantly thinking of the next 10,000 things that I can get into. So one project at a time with many going on at the same time. So that's how that works out. Oh yeah. And so I've had this channel for 4 years now, just over 4 years. 335 videos I've put on here. I've got 1,425 subscribers, I think, at last look. I actually had my first video pulled. YouTube pulled one of my videos, and it was done just about a year ago. And it was me sitting on a tractor out here in the field as I brought feed out for the meat birds when we were rotating them out there. And I was just talking about things going on, status, you know, current status of the world and all the crap that's going on and just the instability of everything. And I had recommended that if, you know, well, I had actually talked about the fact that I conceal carry, even though we're a constitutional carry state here in West Virginia. I still maintain a concealed carry license, because sometimes I travel out of state and I stay within those states that we have reciprocity with. And that I had kind of lacked in continuously carrying when I was outside the home, and that because of just the way things were going and everything like that, I started to carry everywhere that I went. And I suggested that those people who don't own or carry, that they should really look at the possibility of acquiring said tool, and learning how to use said tool, getting a concealed carry permit just to cover yourself if you travel outside of state, and learn how to use it, take it with you when you go, and even just kind of pulled out and showed, look, this is what I carry even on my farm when I'm out on my tractor, and YouTube pulled that video. I didn't say to utilize that tool against everybody who seems to be a threat to you. I didn't suggest anybody do anything other than be able to provide protection for yourself, your family, your home, things like that. And just to be cautious, be aware of what's going on. And we know since then things have not gotten better. Things have not gotten better. But YouTube sent me an email, sent me a link, said at the 1 minute 50 second mark was why they pulled it. And at the 1 minute 50 second mark, I wasn't even talking about said tools or anything that suggested anything or encouraged any type of behaviors. So I don't know. Of course I contested it, and they reviewed it, and within 15 minutes they sent me an email back, said, nope, we reviewed it, we're still pulling that video. Whatever, I don't care. Had a lot of views, had a lot of comments, a lot of good interaction on there. They didn't like it. So I guess all these channels on YouTube that are focused primarily on those specific tools, the safe use of and the encouragement to carry said tool to protect thyself. I wonder if they're getting hit like that. I don't know. But anyways, so yes, I've got censored. What we're going to do about it? With the current atmosphere and the recent events, I don't know if they're going to start cracking down on that kind of stuff or not. Just know that I am pro tool, and I carry said tool. I am proficient with said tool, and I will still encourage everyone to do the same, and make sure you know how to use that tool safely, effectively, and judiciously. And as far as the last video goes, some decent views on that, a couple good comments, one bad comment, because I tried to avoid the political arena of it, and somebody had to jump on there and announce that they were going to make it political, and, you know, presented opposing views. And that's fine, that's fine. You know, honestly, look, if we all agreed on everything, how boring would this be? Nothing would ever change. The problem is that we have chosen sides. You know, what was the, some people consider it their tribe now. So left or right is now your tribe, and you follow suit 100%. You don't go in the middle. You don't go one way, then go the other way. You stay right there, dead set, 100%. You don't move either way. You don't give either way. Hey, listen, okay? It's good to have opposing views. It's good to have differences. That's part of human nature. But are you playing the left or right game, or is the left or right game playing you? And I'm going to err on the side of you're being played. All of us are being played. And, you know, I'm not one or the other. Matter of fact, I'm registered independent and have been for several years now, because I don't agree with everything both sides do. I don't. I am more leaning one way than the other, but I'm truly more in the middle than most people think. Or most people actually, you know, identify as, and I don't identify either way. I mean, honestly, I like to think that I've evolved past the left or right thing, because I think for myself, I read, I research, I look at different opinions, I look at different statistics, I look at different stuff, and I make my own conclusions. I come to my own conclusions from that, what I read, and try to understand. It doesn't always work that way. Maybe I'm completely wrong on some things. Maybe I'm completely right on some things, or maybe I'm just about half-assed. I don't know. But that's why I try to avoid politics on here, because I'm not going to tolerate that kind of stuff. I'm not going to, you know, let my comments blow up and my views blow up just to create animosity and get clicks and stuff like that. So anyways, that's where we stand on that. That's why I try to avoid most of the politics. You know, of course, they affect our daily lives 100%, regardless of whether we agree with it or not, whether we're involved in it or not. It does affect us, so we have to kind of take a little bit, just a tiny spoonful at a time. And as far as the mainstream media and stuff goes, man, they're not reporting news. I think social media has made us the way that we are today. As much as I enjoy it, for finding deals on lumber for the farm, or as, staying in contact with old friends and stuff like that, and virtually meeting some new people, social media has ruined us. Actually, absolutely, it has ruined us. And if you'd have told me 20 years ago that I'd have a meager little YouTube channel sharing what I'm doing on a farm, I'd have laughed at you, because why in the hell would I want to share what I'm doing or my life with people that I don't know? But I am. So we'll leave it at that. Anyways, stay prepared, stay free. God bless y'all.